Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A new victim comes forward saying he too was molested during a medical exam while he was a student at the University of Michigan. Off the top tonight at 11 with the sex abuse investigation against Dr. Robert E. Anderson expanding. Tonight, a former athlete is telling his story.
It comes as new documents show university officials were warned more than 40 decades ago that the doctor was fondling patients. Coco McAvoy spoke to a former Olympic wrestler. And Coco, he says he was abused back in 1998.
Yes, Andy Rovat is now the first former athlete to share his story publicly, and he says he wants to empower others to do the same.
Tonight, another alleged sexual abuse victim of the late Dr. Robert E. Anderson comes forward.
It was common knowledge among everybody in the athletic department.
Olympic wrestler Andy Rovat says he went to the doctor in 1998 as a freshman.
Going into there, you freeze up because you already know going in that something weird's going to happen.
Rovat says Dr. Anderson had a reputation for abusing athletes during exams.
My teammates are like, oh, when you go see Doc A, he's going to, no matter what happens, you go in there, he's going to make you take your pants off and he's going to, fondle you.
But for Rovat, who says he was victimized years before as a child, each encounter was deeply troubling.
Physical touch is very brief, where the mental component of it lasts for a long time.
The university has been flooded with calls to their hotline about the doctor since the news broke.
That's not even the tip of the iceberg. That's just the snow falling on top of the iceberg. And, it's going to come out and there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Rovat is working with an attorney to get more people to speak up.
There should be appropriate policies and procedures to prevent this from happening to any other child.
And that is Rovat's hope.
It's holding people accountable for what happened in the past.
And the university has created a hotline, and they do want people to come forward. We have that information on our website, clickondetroit.com. Reporting live this evening, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
All right, Coco. Breaking news just in from Detroit's west side, where a fire breaks out inside a building under renovation on 7 Mile, just west of Greenfield. Nobody was inside at the time, and there are no injuries. Fire crews on scene say the building is being renovated into a jazz club. The cause is still under investigation.
49-year-old Tammy Gullett was crossing the street in Westland last week when she was hit by a car and killed. And tonight, police are putting out pictures of an SUV they're seeking, hoping someone knows something. Mara McDonald live at the intersection of Merriman and Parkwood, where it happened. Mara?
So unexpected, life-changing, dramatically. I'm still in shock.
Adam talking about his mom, Tammy, who was hit and killed on Merriman near Parkwood, trying to cross the street on February 11th. She was hit by one car. That driver stopped, but police think she was hit again, and that driver didn't.
To me, it just sounds like they were doing something they weren't supposed to by either texting, drinking, had a warrant, something of that nature.
Westland police believe this is a white or light tan late model GMC Acadia or Terrain and would very much like to talk to the driver. Would Adam's mom have survived if she hadn't been struck twice? It's hard to tell.
This is one of my mom's grandchildren right here, which is my daughter. She was just graduated karate school. My mom was there for her support.
49-year-old Tammy was a mother, grandmother, and popular employee at Burger King. Her boys are struggling to understand why someone wouldn't stop.
It would bring a lot of closure if the second person was found, that's for sure.
Back here live, the driver of that first car that hit Tammy says he simply did not see her out here. It was so dark. If you have any idea who was driving that SUV, Westland PD would really like to hear from you. We're live in Westland tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Mara. Well, after a stretch of bitter cold temperatures, Ben finally has some good news headed into the weekend at that.
I mean, that streak has gone on so long. It was a matter of time before we broke it.
Yes,
And
finally.
thank goodness it's this weekend. Temperatures right now, though, are actually warmer than what we were looking at last night at this time, so we're starting to move in the right direction. It's mid to upper 20s primarily. Got a couple 30s there at Grosse Ile and also across the border. Port Huron checking in at 30. This is 10 to 15 degrees warmer already than what we were seeing yesterday at this time. And those highs are going to keep getting warmer as we go through the upcoming weekend. So let's get the good stuff out in the open. 43 Saturday, 47 on Sunday. Very little, if any, cloud cover. Coming up, we're going to talk about the mess that's going to come after the weekend. Multiple chances of rain and snow starting on Monday. And we'll run it down for you in just a few minutes. Devin?
All right, Ben. In a speech that went longer than anyone expected, Dan Gilbert taking the stage today in downtown Detroit, 9 months after suffering a stroke. The Quicken Loans founder was accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award from Cranes. During his 30-minute speech, he delivered another big promise to the city of Detroit.
Whatever happened the last 10 years, we're expecting to double down the next 10 years, so hang on.
Fairly big commitment. At the same event, Stephen Ross pledged to put $100 million of his money into the University of Michigan's Detroit Innovation Center, which is going to go up at the site of the failed Wayne County Jail downtown. The real estate mogul and owner of the Miami Dolphins says it's going to take about $300 million to make the project work the way it's designed. Once that project is done, all of the other development around it, the facility eventually could serve up to 1,000 graduate senior level undergrad students, but could include then housing, a hotel, conference space, all of which Ross says could approach almost $800 million.
Westland police need help finding two men wanted for stealing jewelry from the Sears at Westland Mall. Several security cameras captured the two men on February 3rd. Police say when nobody was looking, the thieves were able to reach behind the counter, pick the display case locks, and take out jewelry and put it in their pockets before leaving the store. The Detroit man wanted for a double murder in River Rouge is now connected to another deadly shooting. Police say Kenyell Brown shot and killed a 41-year-old man last night on 8 Mile and Redmond. Police believe Brown is armed and dangerous and driving a black Dodge Caravan belonging to last night's victim. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Shelby Township Police say they've arrested the man wanted for hiding cameras inside a local tanning salon.
A 38-year-old Macomb Township man was arrested this morning after a search warrant was executed at his house. Police believe he's the one who hid cameras inside the Chili Peppers tanning salon on 25 Mile and Van Dyke last week. He was arrested after an employee told police about a customer who made her feel uncomfortable.
One of the girls that worked at the Chili Peppers salon identified him as a real creepy guy and said, this guy, he's in here all the time and he really makes me uncomfortable and you might want to look at him. And during our investigation, we started giving him a close look. We discovered that he had an IT background, but it led us to arresting him.
Police are still trying to determine how long the cameras were hidden. The suspect is expected to face felony eavesdropping charges.
Tomorrow, voters in Nevada will head to the polls for the third contest for the Democratic presidential candidates. Close to 80,000 Nevada voters have already cast ballots in the state's caucuses. That's because this year early voting is being allowed for the first time. With record turnout expected, party officials are already warning results from the caucus might not be available tomorrow night. Volunteers will be using iPads and Google-based software to count the votes, but we should point out it is not the same technology that didn't work out so well in Iowa. After Nevada, the campaigns have to turn their attention to South Carolina. The primary there is February 29th, and after that, it's Super Tuesday on March 3rd, and a week later, they'll be here in Michigan. Yeah.